Did you know that we are at war with China? Oh yeah. According to our members of Congress who just got back from Taiwan last week, we're at war with China, so we better get prepared. Here's Representative Tony Gonzalez, who just returned from Taiwan, where we just sent a whole bunch of weapons.
I just got back from a trip from Taiwan. It's the second trip to Taiwan in the past 14 months. I know what war looks like. We're at war. I mean, this is a war.
What the hell? Who the heck voted for war against China? Did you? I sure as hell didn't. Do these people even understand what they're saying? The deep state is actively pushing for war with China as the US dollar continues its downward spiral into oblivion. They're scared shitless about what Russia and China are doing, which is building an economic behemoth that the West can't compete with. So get ready for war. Now, as my wife pointed out this week about the United States, nothing is scarier than someone losing power, because people who are losing power do violent and desperate things. We're watching the United States and the US dollar losing tremendous global power. And China is now getting ready for massive U.S. war sanctions. This morning we learned that China is dumping massive amounts of U.S. debt. The data comes right from the U.S. Treasury. China is the second largest holder of U.S. Treasuries. Now, if the United States freezes those assets, China is screwed. So China is stockpiling gold, dumping American dollars faster than Jerome Powell can actually print them. And Russia today announced all those sanctions that the U.S. and Europe threw at them didn't work. Now, I'm going to read from today's report. Quote, the Russian economy is developing in a new way, with GDP expected to grow as soon as the second quarter of this year, President Vladimir Putin predicted on Thursday. Speaking at a conference this week, Putin said the country had managed to fully compensate for the loss of access to Western markets. According to the head of the state, Russia's foreign trade grew by more than 8% last year, while last year's trade surplus hit $332 billion. So even before we blew up Russia's natural gas pipeline, they were building this coalition to dethrone the United States dollar dominance. And historically, the way that we deal with people like this is we threaten war, and we actually try to destabilize these countries through regime change and sanctions, like we're doing right now with Russia in Ukraine. Now, we learned this morning that even more countries are trying to move away from the US dollar and joining the BRICS coalition of Russia, China, Brazil, India, South Africa. The BRICS nations are developing their own currency backed by gold and natural gas and oil, commodities. The US dollar is not backed by anything. And just look at these freaking headlines this morning. African nations want to join BRICS. Russia supports Algeria joining BRICS. Iran and Saudi Arabia want to join BRICS. And even Mexico. Earlier this week, Mexico announced its intent to join Russia and China as part of the BRICS nations. I mean, holy cow. So watch as we alienate our closest allies, just like we did with the Nord Stream pipeline destruction.